Basic sentiment analysis for survey feedback. In this lesson, we will learn how to analyze customer survey feedback using sentiment analysis. Understanding customer sentiment helps businesses improve services, products, and customer experiences. We will use real-world datasets to identify trends in customer opinions through survey responses and open-ended feedback. By the end, you will be able to turn unstructured survey text into actionable insights for market research and customer analytics. Running the cell now. We import pandas for data analysis. We import numpy for numeric operations and random number generation. We import openmul to download real-world datasets directly. We import warnings to manage warning messages. We ignore warnings to keep the notebook clean. Running the cell now. Core concepts, survey data and sentiment analysis. Customer surveys often include both closed-ended scores such as NPS or Likert scales and open-ended feedback. Each row in such data represents one customer's responses, with columns for demographic and survey details. Feedback text may include typographical errors, neutral phrases, or even sarcasm, which can be hard for simple analysis. Beginners often miss cleaning, filtering, or handling missing feedback before analyzing sentiment. It is important to separate objective ratings from subjective opinions for accurate business insights. Running the cell now. We create a small open-ended customer feedback dataset. This will be our example set for basic sentiment analysis. We print the dataset dimensions and preview the first 3 feedback comments. Running the cell now. This output shows a small survey dataset with 5 customer entries and 2 columns, customer ID and feedback. Notice how each row captures one customer's open-ended response, which is the kind of raw text that needs cleaning before sentiment analysis. The code's intent here is to introduce the structure of typical feedback data, emphasizing the need to handle such text carefully in later steps. Try adding your own feedback line to the data frame for practice. Beginner example 1, viewing all customer feedback. Let us preview all open-ended customer feedback comments. Observing raw comments is important for spotting common themes or issues. Running the cell now. For each customer, we print their feedback comment to get a qualitative sense of their opinion. We read through the feedback to understand the variety of experiences. Running the cell now. Here, we loop through each customer's feedback and print it out, allowing us to see all raw comments in one place. Notice the variety in feedback, from praise to concerns, which helps us identify common themes like service quality and delivery issues. This step is crucial for understanding the overall customer experience before deeper analyses. Beginner example 2, adding a simple sentiment label. We will add a simple sentiment label using keywords. This quick approach helps classify feedback as positive, negative, or neutral. It is common in business settings as a first pass for large text datasets. Running the cell now. We define a function that assigns sentiment labels based on keywords in the feedback text. Positive, negative, or neutral labels are assigned for each comment. We apply the function to all feedback and display the feedback with its sentiment label. Running the cell now. Here, the output shows the original feedback alongside a new sentiment column, where each entry is labeled based on simple keyword matching. Notice how positive words like great and excellent result in a positive label, while words like slow and poor lead to negative. This quick labeling technique is useful for rapidly classifying large text datasets in business contexts. Try adjusting the keywords in the function to better match your own customer feedback. Beginner example 3, visualizing sentiment distribution. Visualizing the distribution of sentiment labels helps us see the overall mood in customer responses. Pie charts or bar graphs are common for such comparisons. Running the cell now. We import Matplotlib to create visualizations. We count the number of feedbacks in each sentiment category. We plot the sentiment distribution as a bar graph. We add a title and label for clarity. We display the chart to identify which sentiment is most common. Running the cell now. This bar chart shows the distribution of sentiment labels in customer feedback, with green representing positive, red for negative, and gray for neutral comments. Notice the height of each bar indicates the count of comments per sentiment, giving a clear picture of the overall mood. This visual helps us quickly compare how many responses fall into each sentiment category, fulfilling our goal of understanding feedback trends. Intermediate Example 1. Analyzing larger survey data, NPS. Net Promoter Score, NPS, surveys ask how likely a customer is to recommend the company. Scores range from 0 to 10 and can be linked with open-ended feedback for deeper analysis. Running the cell now. We generate a synthetic NPS survey dataset for 10 customers. We include scores from 0 to 10 and realistic feedback comments. We print the first few responses to explore the data structure. Running the cell now. This output shows the first 5 rows of a survey dataset containing customer IDs, their NPS scores, ranging from 0 to 10, and associated open-ended feedback comments. Notice the variation in scores, which sets up the analysis for identifying patterns between numerical ratings and qualitative responses. This initial glimpse helps us understand the structure and diversity of the data before deeper NPS trend analysis. Intermediate Example 2. Linking NPS score and text sentiment. By combining text sentiment and NPS scores, we can spot mismatches, such as negative text with high scores. This helps us catch cases where scores and text do not match business expectations. Running the cell now. We assign sentiment labels to the feedback in the NPS dataset. We filter for cases where the NPS score is high but text sentiment is negative, or vice versa. We print the mismatched comments for review. This business check helps spot unusual customer responses. Running the cell now. This output shows that there are no cases in the data where high NPS scores are paired with negative text sentiment or low scores with positive sentiment. The empty data frame confirms that score and sentiment align well here, indicating consistent customer feedback. This validates our method for detecting mismatches and highlights that no unusual patterns exist in this sample. Intermediate Example 3. Counting promoters, passives, and detractors. In NPS, scores from 0 to 6 are detractors, 7 to 8 are passives, and 9 to 10 are promoters. Segmenting customers helps businesses target improvements to the right group. Running the cell now. We define a function to bucket NPS scores into 3 customer groups. We apply this categorization and count each group to see the survey's breakdown. Understanding the size of each group informs market research strategies. Running the cell now. This output shows the count of customers in each NPS category after applying the classification function, with 6 detractors, 1 passive, and 3 promoters. Notice how the code segments the NPS scores into meaningful groups, which helps businesses understand the distribution of customer sentiment and prioritize actions for improvement. Would you like to see these categories on a pie chart? Try plotting them for practice. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more real-world analytics tutorials. Advanced Example 1. Sentiment Analysis on Larger Survey Feedback. Let us load a real customer satisfaction dataset from OpenML, which includes demographics and service ratings. We will analyze open-ended feedback to guide business decisions. Running the cell now. We load the customer satisfaction dataset from OpenML. This data includes many columns such as gender, contract, and churn. We print the size and first records to understand the structure. Running the cell now. The output shows the dataset contains 7,043 customer records with 20 columns, including demographics, service details, and churn status. Notably, key columns such as gender, tenure, and payment method provide context for analyzing open-ended feedback in this survey. This setup confirms we have rich, structured data to combine with sentiment analysis for actionable business insights. Advanced Example 2. Handling and analyzing missing feedback. Not all customers provide textual feedback. Missing values can mislead your market analysis. We must detect and handle missing comments before analyzing sentiment distributions. Running the cell now. We count missing values in the feedback column for quality control. We fill missing values with a clear placeholder. We preview the results so no feedback entries are dropped from analysis. Running the cell now. Here, the code checks for missing feedback entries and confirms there are none, so no filling was needed. The feedback_filled column simply mirrors the original feedback column, demonstrating the method to safely handle missing data without altering existing entries. This ensures our sentiment analysis uses complete and accurate text inputs. Error handling, incorrect groupings or aggregations. Mistakes can occur if you group by the wrong column, leading to misleading market insights. Always double-check groupings when calculating sentiment across customer segments. Running the cell now. We demonstrate a common mistake, grouping by unique IDs rather than sentiment labels. The first result is not useful for sentiment distribution. The second, correct grouping, gives the count of each sentiment for business analysis. Running the cell now. The first output mistakenly groups by customer ID, showing a count of one sentiment per individual customer, which doesn't reveal overall sentiment trends. In contrast, the correct grouping by sentiment aggregates customer counts per sentiment category, highlighting there are 3 positive and 2 negative sentiments. This demonstrates the importance of grouping by the right column to accurately summarize customer sentiment patterns. Have you made similar grouping mistakes before? Try grouping by other columns and see what insights you get. Error handling, misinterpreting scales. Treat all response options carefully. For example, in NPS, the neutral point is not 5, it is 7 to 8. Review official scoring to avoid wrong business conclusions. Running the cell now. We show how incorrectly assuming that a score of 5 is neutral creates mistakes. We compare that to the actual definition of passive responses in NPS, scores of 7 and 8. This prevents misleading business recommendations. Running the cell now. This output reveals a key misunderstanding. No respondent scored exactly 5, so guessing neutral as 5 misses all passives. The true neutral group, defined by official NPS guidelines as scores 7 to 8, has one respondent, highlighting the importance of correctly interpreting the scale to avoid misclassifying feedback. This underscores why relying on official scoring rules is crucial for accurate analysis. Best practices, market research analytics patterns. Segmenting by demographics or region uncovers hidden sentiment trends among customer subgroups. Cross-tabulate sentiment versus churn, region, or NPS type for actionable insights. Constructing composite indexes such as overall satisfaction or loyalty scores can clarify trends. Analyzing sentiment or NPS changes over time reveals whether business actions are working. Running the cell now. We generate a regional NPS survey with sentiment labels for each response. We group and count sentiment types by region to uncover local trends. This supports regional marketing strategies or training. Running the cell now. This output shows the count of negative and positive sentiment segmented by region, highlighting how sentiment distribution varies across customer subgroups. Notice that some regions, like South and East, have only negative sentiment, while others, like North and West, show a mix, illustrating how demographic segmentation uncovers hidden sentiment trends crucial for targeted marketing strategies. We calculate the mean NPS score for each sentiment label. This cross-tabulation reveals whether positive comments are truly linked with high NPS scores. Such checks catch unexpected patterns and surface opportunities. Running the cell now. This output shows the average NPS score grouped by customer sentiment, revealing that respondents with negative sentiment have a higher mean NPS score than those with positive sentiment. This counterintuitive result highlights the importance of segmenting data to uncover hidden trends and prompts further investigation into subgroup behaviors. The code's intent is to demonstrate how cross-tabulating sentiment and NPS scores can surface unexpected insights for more targeted market strategies. We simulate adding a survey month for each record. We group and count sentiment by month to visualize trends over time. Stacked bar charts help businesses see if satisfaction or dissatisfaction is improving month to month. Running the cell now. This output shows the distribution of positive and negative sentiments in customer feedback across 3 survey months. Notice the declining trend in total comments and the consistently high account of negative sentiment, which signals potential ongoing issues. This aligns with the lesson's intent to track sentiment changes over time, helping evaluate if actions taken between months are improving customer perception. Practice: try shifting the months around and see how trends change. For more visualizations, watch our YouTube playlist. End-to-end example: generating a market research recommendation. Let us put it all together, analyze survey feedback and produce a recommendation for the business. We will summarize sentiment, segment results, and suggest an action based on the data. Running the cell now. We compute the sentiment distribution as a percentage of all feedback. We select an actionable business recommendation based on the ratio of negative or positive sentiment. We print both the summary and the actionable next step. Running the cell now. The output shows that 80% of the survey responses are negative, far exceeding the 30% threshold set in the code. This high negative sentiment drives the recommendation to prioritize service improvements and proactive support, demonstrating how the code translates sentiment analysis into actionable business advice. Congratulations on completing this hands-on sentiment analysis for market research. Try applying these techniques to your own company survey data.